Alright guys, welcome to Module 10. I wanted to take a little time here to show you guys all the special tools and shop equipment that you'll have to use. And I thought rather than talking about it and just show it, that I'll just show you. So I got a bunch of stuff out here, stuff that you can just kind of expect to see, you know, in shops and stuff that you'll have to use for this line of work. So, a couple things, I'll just get you familiar with the equipment and show you how to use it real quick. So, yeah, let's dive right in. So, the first thing I wanted to mention, and some of you guys know this, but in case you didn't, quick air couplings. So every shop that I've ever been in has these things, air compressor lines and quick air couplers. You know, just giving you guys, showing you what to expect. So, to attach this, you can see I have to take this coupler. Actually, I have to press it down with my fingers. Take my two fingers, pull it down, insert my tool. Now I'm going to insert it and then release this little slide right here. Just like that. Okay, now I'm attached. To release it, same thing. I like to put a little bit of upward force on the hose and then pull down on the slide. Pops right off. So again, on, off. Just like that. Okay, so looking at all this different shop equipment here, I kind of got some laid out. I'm just going to go down the line and show you guys what's what. So, a couple of these things you'll see in my in Module 1, Special Tools, or my tool module. So here's a fluid evacuator. Pretty simple. We hook up shop air right to here, right to this port here. It just creates a vacuum. We have different thickness hoses that we can attach. For example, this one we can slide this hose all the way down a transmission dipstick if we need to evacuate fluid out of a transmission without pulling a drain plug or disconnecting a cooler line, anything like that. So a little bit of a time saver, also for rear diff services, so you don't have to pull diff covers. Just suck the fluid out of it. So that's kind of a cool tool. Next, what we have here is a pneumatic fan clutch tool. Now these are a must-have in shops. Huge time saver. What I mean by that is your cooling fan in the front of an engine, if it's non-electric, if it's a mechanical cooling fan, it's going to have a fan clutch. It's going to be connected to sometimes a water pump pulley with a large nut. And it used to be you grab a wrench and you try to turn that nut and you end up just spinning the pulley or the belt spins. So anyways, they designed this tool. So this piece right here attaches to our air hammer. Okay, just like that. This is a pneumatic air hammer. Now we can grab these large things, put them on the nuts, put that down on your nut, and just give it, and it just pops that nut loose, allowing you to take the fan clutch off. So that's a pneumatic fan clutch tool. Okay, here we have tap and die set. This is a large tap and die set, but you can just see I have smaller ones in my box. So this one, large tap and die set. So here's our taps here, and beneath it, come on, there you can see all our dies. And basically, guys, what I'm showing you, all these tools are stuff that I have here in my shop that I don't require my technicians to buy. So stuff that they do not need to purchase, you know, a lot of the stuff like, another one for example, this drill bit set. I like to keep a set of really good drill bits on the shelf for them to use, you know, so they're not using their own drill bits, because they do dull and they do break, and you know, I just don't want them to have to spend their own money on replacing drill bits all the time. So get your own if you want to, and again, different shops are going to have different equipment, different ways of doing things, but I just want to give you an idea what to expect. So alright, here, this is a basic fuel injection test kit. What this kit is used for is testing fuel pressure. So this is basically a fuel pressure gauge right here. with a couple different ends, as you can see, to attach to. This is the most used, commonly used one. The smaller one here is actually used by Fords. So here's our gauge. We hook this end. It's a quick coupler, just like your airlines. Pops together. Okay, now hook it up to your vehicle. Start your engine, and you can watch your fuel pressure. Okay, so this little set we have right here is is a cooling system pressure tester. How it works is we have our little gun here. We hook up a line to the gun. This is a Mighty Vac tool. Okay, so we hook up our clear hose right to the gun here. And then you grab, this one's for your adapter. This one's for reservoir caps. This one's for your standard radiator cap. And it's pretty simple. You attach this onto your reservoir, hook up the other end here, and you pump it up. And I always look at the radiator, say it's a 12 to 14 PSI system. So I just pump it up until I get to somewhere around there, let it sit. So we're pressurizing the cooling system to look for leaks mainly. Okay, I have another kit here. This is basically a puller tool. So you can see all the different size bolts. This right here is considered a steering wheel puller, but you can use it for a lot of different things. To take your steering wheel off, you take one of these center big bolts here, drive it down, so it's going to press on the center of your steering wheel shaft. On your steering wheel, once you pop the cover off, there should be a couple thread holes to attach bolts to. And then so it's actually going to be pulling on the bolts. It's actually going to be pulling the steering wheel right off for you. So there's just a master puller kit. Here's another style puller. This is a 3-jaw puller, so I have a few different sizes of these. And again, pretty self-explanatory. These we use a lot of times on harmonic balancers, which goes on the front of the engine. 3-jaw puller. Alright, this is another must-have here. Serpentine belt tool. So what this does, we have a really long, thin shaft with a little 3/8 end on it right there. And so what we can do here is grab any one of these real shallow sockets, and this is good for hard to reach serpentine belt tensioners. Way up in a hard to reach area, so you can get on the tensioner, release tension on your serpentine belt, and then remove it. So that is what this is used for. Alright, so this is an angle grinder. We use this mainly on exhaust or anything that's kind of hard to reach, because we have a bench grinder, you know, which you actually have to bring the parts to. If you need to grind something on a vehicle, this is the tool for the job right here. An angle grinder. You can get grinding wheels like this, or you can get cutoff wheels, which are a little bit thinner and used to cut through metal. Another tool in our arsenal is a Sawzall. So you can see we got a metal blade on here, and it's just a reciprocating tool. We use this mainly to cut through exhaust, cut exhaust pipes apart and that type of thing. Okay, so this is a Master Race and Seal Driver kit. You can see this one's well worn, but for bearing races or seals, you can grab this and use it as a, a punch. One of those things you won't use a lot, but just so you're not looking at it wondering what it's used for. Okay, power steering pulley puller. So on a power steering pump that has a pulley attached, in certain cases you have to remove the pulley, sometimes to access the actual bolts. And this is a kit. It allows you to attach these pieces to the pulley. There's instructions. There's going to be instructions in your kit. But So you attach these pieces to a pulley. It kind of wraps around. The end of the pulley is going to have kind of a ear to grab onto. And then you simply grab a threaded bolt like this. It's going to press on the center shaft of the power steering pump, and it's going to pull the pulley right off of it. Okay, airlift kit. You'll remember this from Module 1. So basically what we have here is this thing here plus a couple of lines. We first use this and attach it to shop air. It's going to create a vacuum. This thing's got a little gauge on it, so we can pull a vacuum on the cooling system. We then attach this hose, put it into our jug of antifreeze or coolant, hook it up, and then open the valve. Both of these valves are open. Open the valve, and it's going to backfeed coolant into the system. Alright, so another one I want to show you guys is a smoke machine. And we use this for a couple of reasons. We use this for testing evap systems. So we're basically filling the fuel system full of non-flammable smoke. But we also use it for checking for any vacuum leaks in an intake. If you have a hard to find vacuum leak, this is a pretty helpful thing. You can actually fill the intake full of smoke and look for any leaks. So I'm just going to show you how this works. So first step is we attach these leads to the vehicle battery, just like that. Second step, on the tool itself, it's got a little air fitting, so we need to apply our shop air right to that. Now there's different ones. This is a Smoke Pro, real common one, commonly used one. Okay, we're going to get it to sit. Now what we're going to need to do, press this little button right here, and it's going to start heating. And it also has, there you go, you can see it just start smoking right there. It also has right here a little flow gauge. I don't know if you can see that, but it actually shows, there's a little like BB or something in there. It actually shows how much restriction it has. And you can see this thing smoking pretty good. So there's a little dial right here to adjust the amount of smoke, adjust the amount of airflow going through it. And actually what's in here is nothing more than baby oil. So that's how you refill, just with baby oil. So we're going to turn that off. So now I'm going to show you guys how a torch and a welder work. A couple more pieces of shop equipment to show you. I have a couple vice grips set up right here with a couple bolts. And I'm going to show you first, we're going to weld this bolt together. So I'm going to show you how the welder works. We're going to weld two bolts together. And we're also going to then show you how the torch works. And we're going to show you how to heat a bolt and then cut a bolt. So first off, we're going to pull our welder over here. Okay, now this is just a 110 welder. Try to get the stuff in the camera the best I can. So this is just a 110 welder, meaning 110 volts. It plugs right into any outlet, so real handy to have. Okay, there's two cables, main cables coming off your welder. Here's our welding wand, and here is our ground strap, or ground cable. So I'm going to go ahead and hook up my cable and turn this thing on. The other wire is just an electrical cord. Plug that in. Now right here we have our gas, which is actually an argon gas. It helps make a cleaner weld. Okay, I'm going to turn that on, open up the gas. I'm going to adjust my voltage all the way to number 4. There's our wire speed adjustment, a voltage adjustment. I don't typically mess with the wire speed too much. Put on my self-adjusting welding helmet. So this allows me to see through it until I start welding, then it self-dims. And you guys need to wear one of these. Some of them are self-adjusting and they're really hard to see through, but if you don't, you guys are going to have really, really sore eyes. It burns your retinas or something, and I've had it, and it's really painful. So you always need to wear something like this. So you can see, I held onto that bolt, so it will not electrocute you. I just did that to get one bead started so it hold together. You can use a pliers, or you should have some gloves on, you know, because it can get really hot really fast. But it's together now, so I'm going to finish my bead. There we go. And I, under no circumstances, ever advertise myself to be a professional welder. Honestly, it's not that hard. I just squeeze the trigger. This is a MIG welder, or a wire welder, I should say. So they're really easy to use. You just squeeze the trigger, you watch what you're doing, and I like to make little circles, and I always like to push my weld rather than pull it. Make little circles as I go, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. So there you can see, there's our weld. You know, it's on there. It's pretty strong. All right, so now we welded that bolt together. It's not coming apart. Okay, so next we have our acetylene torch, oxy-acetylene torch. So this is going to be one of your best friends because it is amazing what a little heat will do when you got stubborn fasteners that won't come loose. A little heat goes a long way. So I'm going to show you guys first how to heat a bolt, secondly how to cut a bolt. Okay, so these are my goggles. They're just tinted goggles because it does get pretty bright as well for heating a bolt, especially for cutting a bolt. I usually only wear them when I'm actually cutting with the torch. Okay, so I have 3 knobs on this torch wand right here. This one says gas, this one says oxygen, and this top one is also oxygen. So what I like to do, you can see the oxygen ones are the same, but what I like to do is start by turning on my oxygen, closing it with this one here. You can hear it start hissing out. This trigger right here is for cutting. That's added oxygen for actually cutting with the torch. So right here's my gas. So we're going to start by turning on the gas until I can just hear it hissing out a little bit. I'm going to take my striker tool, which just makes a spark like that. Now I'm going to light it. Okay, so you can see the flame right now. We gotta add a little oxygen to that flame. So we get a nice blue flame just like that. Okay, so we got our bolt right here. So now to heat it, I'm going to take that flame right there. So you gave it too much oxygen and it actually snuffs itself out. Just give it a little bit of oxygen until you get about like that. Great. That's perfect for what we need to do for heating this bolt. So I'm going to go ahead and start heating this bolt. And if I were going to try to take this bolt loose, you know, if that was a nut, I would heat it until it's about red hot. And then go ahead and try to take that nut out. And you can see as I do this, it's actually getting that head of that bolt glowing red hot. Okay, so now I'm actually going to cut the bolt in half. Pretty much the same principle, except I'm going to add a little bit of oxygen as I do it. Now, the trick is, don't add oxygen until you're ready. So I'm actually going to start by heating it up, and until it actually turns to a bright yellow and starts puddling. There we are. Now I'm going to start slowly adding my oxygen, just like that. Cut through it, just that quick. I'm going to cut another spot right here. Bam. So you can see how quick and easy that is. So, okay, you can see how clean that cut that off right there. So, anyway, that's it, guys. Hope this helped. And again, any questions, anything like that, just send us a message on Facebook. But at least that gives you an idea of some of the shop equipment you're going to expect to see at your shop. Talk to you later for module. We'll see you for module 10. 12. So we'll talk to you later for module 12. See ya. Good thing I can edit, huh?